Hey, it's Zack, and I'm back with another episode of Elevate and Accelerate. Today, I want to talk to you about what I call the two pillars of personal branding. These are the core to what you need to be able to create a magnetic personal brand. And what I mean by that is, how do you attract your ideal clients? You want to work with the people that you want to work with, and they're looking for somebody like you to work with them as well. So, how do we combine that together? How do you attract your ideal clients? Well, you do that through experience and expertise. Now, you may have heard those words and have its own connotations about what they might mean. And so, in today's episode, I'm going to unpack what each of those mean and how they can have an impact on your brand and how you can, again, attract your ideal clients. So, first, let's start with a simple question. What is it that sets you apart from your competition? What is it that really, truly makes you different? I say this in my workshop all the time, and the reality is that people can duplicate what you do. Now, they may not do it in the same way. Maybe they don't do it as well. Maybe they even do it better. People can do what you do, and they can learn how to do what you do. That's why there's competition in the first place, right? I think we would all agree on that. But what they cannot duplicate is you, because of your unique experiences, the life that you have lived, the things that you have done, the different decisions that you have made along the way, big decisions and micro decisions, they have shaped you into who you are. And so that is the one thing that they cannot duplicate. They cannot duplicate your story and who you are. And so how do you leverage that in your business? And that's what experience is all about. It's the life that you lived, the stories you've gathered. It's your unique perspective that you bring to the table. And it's about who you are as a person because of the challenges that you faced and because of the experiences that have shaped you, right? So your experience is what makes you relatable. It's what makes you human. It's what makes you authentic, right? At the core of all of this. And as we've talked about before, people do business with people, right? And they do business with people that they know, like, and trust. And so how can somebody trust you if you're not being your authentic self, right? So experience plays a huge role in being able to relate to your audience and build trust with them. Now, on the other hand, expertise is the knowledge and skills that you've been able to develop over time. It's the technical know-how, right? So it's the strategies, the frameworks, it's the education, it's the years of work and study and practice. Your expertise is how you take your unique skill set along with the information and knowledge that you've been able to gather and the practical application that you've applied to clients over and over again for as long as you've been in business so far, and turn that into who it is about what you do, right? It's your expertise that ultimately positions you as the authority in your field, that go-to person in your particular niche. So when you combine experience with expertise, you create a powerful personal brand that then not only resonates with your audience, but also establishes you as a trusted leader in your industry. So let's dive in deeper to experience, right? Your experience is your story. I have many episodes on this podcast and people that I've talked to about how your story is at the core of who you are. We talk about brand being a story, branding being storytelling, and a great brand being a story that others share for you. And a story is one of the most powerful things that you can do for your brand because people connect with stories. They connect with authenticity. They want to know who you are, what you've been through, and what you do. They want to see you as somebody who can empathize with their particular situation. Now, when I'm working with clients and helping them to craft their story, their core story behind their business, what I talk with them about is understanding what are the emotions that you felt when you were in that particular situation, whether it was in childhood or young adult life or whatever it was that helps you relate to your audience. What were the emotions that you were feeling in that moment? And what are the emotions that your prospects are feeling, right? Not your clients, but your prospects, the people that are looking for help. What are they feeling? And how do you connect those two things together? Because what that'll do is when you can truly connect to what it feels like to be scared, to be uncertain of the future, to be, wanting to do better with your life, to fix your relationships, to grow your business, right? Whatever it is, you can attach that same level of feeling because of your own experience to what they are currently experiencing as well. And when you think about it, think about the people that you follow, the entrepreneurs or business leaders or other people that you really admire most. Chances are that you resonate with their story. Maybe it's how they overcame adversity, or it's a rags to riches story where they started with nothing and now they're, multimillionaires. Maybe it's how they took a leap of faith to start their business, and so you want to model that, right? You're inspired by their particular story, and so you follow them, you follow their wisdom, right, which we'll talk about next, in their expertise. But whatever it is, really at the core, their experience is what speaks to you on a personal level. So you have to ask yourself, what is your story? What are the defining moments in your life that have shaped you to today and really put you on the path that you're on to help people in the way that you help people? Because ultimately, that's what you're doing, right? You started a business because you saw a problem, whether it was one that you experienced yourself or a loved one or a family member or a friend, and you went out there to solve that problem. And then you continue to solve people's problems. You are passionate about helping people in that unique way, in the way that you serve your ideal clients, right? And so don't be afraid to get personal, right? Don't be afraid to use your story and share your story in the path that you've been on, because it's the reason why you do what you do. The reality is that we all have a choice, and we've had many choices, and all the micro decisions that we've made all along the way, or even the major decisions that we have made, have shaped who we are and where we currently are in our lives. Now, I remember when I was in the Marine Corps, right? I made decisions along the way that led me on a path to ultimately joining the Marine Corps and even going to the reserves instead of active duty, for example. Wanting to finish college, being advised even by my recruiter that I should finish college and join the reserves, and so on and so forth. And there were many little decisions that I had made throughout that process. Now, when I was in high school, I started smoking weed. And that was a big thing for me. I enjoyed it. I really liked it. And then even post high school, it was a big part of my life. And a lot of that didn't change once I joined the Marine Corps. Now, I didn't smoke as much, or it was only in certain times or whatever it was, but there were still times that I had smoked marijuana while in the Marine Corps. And those micro decisions, those minutes of, oh yeah, sure, I'll take a hit of that. Oh, sure, I'll, take a puff of that, whatever it was, led to a point where I did that right before we were getting activated for what would have been my first deployment in 2007. And that decision in that moment to sit in the car, to take a puff of the joint as it passed by, led to me failing my drug test before getting deployed, which then kept me from being deployed and even faced, losing some rank and all that other kind of stuff. With, the way that marijuana is today, I don't know if that would have been any different. I think their policy is still the same. But that decision led me to not getting deployed, which led to a whole lot of other things. I reconnected with my now wife. So now we're married. We've got 3 amazing kids. I ended up going back to school. I got my degree actually while I was deployed on my first deployment, again, which would have been my second. I finished my bachelor's degree overseas, went on to get my master's of divinity at seminary. And so my whole life trajectory, I think, in a lot of ways shifted because of that particular moment, which happened because of a micro decision. But it also opened up the door to me at a later date to really understand more about myself, more of the things that I was running from, my desire for acceptance, really my core desire to really want to be able to help people. And so where I am today and what I'm doing about even sitting here talking to you about building your business and growing your brand and sharing your story, all precipitated from these decisions that made me who I am today, and give me, I think, in a lot of ways, the ability to speak to what it means to share your story, because I was so embarrassed to share mine for such a long time. And it wasn't until I did, for fear of rejection, for fear of, people not accepting me, for fear of, being seen, the vulnerability behind it, whatever it was. But now that I share my story and different parts of my story, it opened up new levels of success for me, new opportunities, connecting with greater people who have offered me other opportunities. And so it's really just created a different life for me, starting by just accepting, dealing with, and sharing my story. So look, I get it. It can feel vulnerable. How does this apply to my business? Why would I be talking about my childhood when I help people with their retirement planning? Well, You don't need to share your entire life story and your origin story of, all that kind of stuff to be able to share the why behind what you do. But there was probably a decision that was made that set you on your path to start your business. And that pivotal decision that you made, or the many decisions that led to the moment where you finally decided to take that leap, is probably where that core story lies. The trouble that you faced, the problems that you saw, the things that you went through or that a family member went through. And in that, you have the opportunity to share a vulnerable, maybe even risky, but authentic version of who you are. And that is why it works. Because when you are willing to be vulnerable and to share your true self, you create a deep connection with your audience. I talked about this in previous episodes, but that connection happens on a biological level, on a chemical level, and so it's scientifically shown how oxytocin is released in our brains, a neuropeptide that is a bonding hormone. There's also the history of story. And so if you want to know more about that, you can watch the episode, because I can run off on a rabbit trail talking about cavemen and cave drawings and the storytelling that saved the ice age and all sorts of other stuff. So we won't get into that. But your audience, when they connect with you, they can then see themselves in you, and that's where the trust is built. So remember, your experience isn't just about the successes that you have achieved. It isn't about the good things that you did. It's also about the failures, the lessons learned, and the growth that you've been able to experience along the way. So embrace all of it and let your story be that foundation of your personal brand. So, all right, that's experience. Probably ran down a couple extra rabbit holes that I didn't need to, but let's dive into now the expertise and establishing expertise. While your experience is what makes you relatable, your expertise is what makes you credible. It's what shows your audience that you not only understand their struggles, but that you have the knowledge and the skills and the experience to help them overcome those struggles. So expertise isn't just about having a degree or a certification. We see that a lot. Realtors with their realtor tag. Again, I'm not knocking any of this, but this is a step in it. You've got, masters with their MBA at the end of their name, doctors with doctor and PhD. You've got financial advisors with, designations at the end of theirs, like CFP and all those other different things that they have. And so all of those certifications and designations that you're able to amass over time, are all lending to your credibility of being able to serve your ideal clients in the way that you say. But it's also about the continuous learning that you have, the hands-on experience, and the results that you've been able to achieve, which is why it's so important to also share your clients' stories. So a client story is different than a testimonial. A testimonial would look something like, I worked with Zack. He was super helpful. I really enjoyed the process. And if you're looking for somebody to help you build your brand, Zack's your guy. Cool. That's a testimonial, but it's not a story. A story would be like, before I met Zack, I was struggling with my business. I had hit a plateau. I was trying to break into a new market. I really wanted to attract more of my ideal clients or charge more for my services, but I wasn't sure how to do it. Now, after working with Zack and being able to build my brand through media and marketing and all these other things, I'm now attracting my ideal clients. Opportunities are coming to me. I'm a regular on a local news channel when they're looking for a subject matter expert, and I don't even have to promote my business anymore. That's a story, right? Because there's a tension that they're experiencing and then the resolution that happens at the end of it, right? And so that's a client story. You want to be able to share that as a part of building the expertise that you have, and using social proof to solidify the expertise that you're talking about. So in order to establish your expertise, you need to show, not just tell. Right? You've got to share your insights, your strategies, and your results. You need to write articles or create videos or host webinars, really whatever it is that you can use to demonstrate that you know what you're talking about and that you can deliver real value to your audience. And one of the best ways to do that and to really showcase your experience is through content. I've got several episodes, and in fact, some of my most watched episodes are the ones that I've done with our content producer, Ryan Ruff, talking about how to leverage content in your business. The saying is still true. Content is king. And when you create valuable, insightful content, you position yourself as an authority in your field. Now, what I would add to that, and what we do a lot, is having those mass media credentials to that as well. So, for example, if I'm launching a podcast and I say, Zach Viscomi's new podcast, Story Mindset, launching now, check out the first episode. Great. Now, if I put an advertisement out for that and send it out to people, there'd be a handful of people who'd probably check that out, right? But if I were to do that exact same advertisement and say instead, multiple time best-selling author Zack Viscomi, seen on ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox, is coming to you with a new podcast called The Story Mindset. Check out the first episode. There's going to be a number of people who wouldn't have given that a second look, other than the fact that they're like, wait a minute, who is this guy? He's a multiple time best-selling author. Yeah. He's been featured on ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox affiliates around the country. Whoa. Maybe I should at least listen to that first episode. Right now, the same thing's true when you're marketing your business. And we'll get into that in this next step of how we combine these things together. But those mass media credentials, the things that you can say that build trust at the early stages before people even engage with your content, is really, really important. Because again, your audience is being inundated with information from people who seem to be offering the same exact service as you do. And so getting back to the earlier point today, what sets you apart? Well, it's your experience, right? But how do you get even people to engage with your story? Because people don't care what you know until they know that you care. Sharing your story is a good way to show people that you care and why you care about helping them. But to get them to click on your ad, to open up that piece of marketing material in their mailbox, to go through your website, to read the next box, to scroll down a little bit further, those mass media credentials are extremely helpful in being able to do that for you, because it separates you at the very top of the funnel from the other people who are also getting into their inbox. Now, once you do that and you work through your experience, content again, and consistent and relevant content, is extremely important. I get questions all the time about, hey, Zach, do you want to promote your podcast more? Do you want to get more followers? Do you want to grow your YouTube channel? Hey, I can really help you with this thing or that thing or the other. Why do you only have 4 views on this video, or 25 views on this video, or 100 views on that video, or whatever it is? Because my goal in doing this podcast hasn't been to grow the podcast. That's not my business. The business at Celebrity Branding Agency is to help entrepreneurs through offering media opportunities that are fun, exciting, and classy, that helps them build their brand and grow their business. And so I create this podcast and this information for our clients or our prospects who are already on our list. And then we send them these videos, or we can point them to the channels, or they can check it out. And so the people that are watching it are the most qualified people who are engaging with this content. You may be one of them. And then they continue to engage with this content, hopefully, because I'm providing value. And my goal is to continue to provide value to help people to build their brands. But ultimately, that value is to the people who I want to hire me. I don't care about followers that don't have a business necessarily, right? Maybe they can learn some lessons, or they want to start a business. But my primary audience is people who have a business and are looking to grow their business through personal branding. And so my audience is very small compared to the large amount of people that are out there. So I could promote these videos. I could do the push notifications and, the boosting the post and doing all that kind of other stuff that I really honestly don't understand, but my team does. But I could do all of those things so that I could get 150 views or 250 views or even thousands of followers on my YouTube channel, if that was my goal. But that's not the most important thing to me, because that isn't really bringing me any revenue. What brings me revenue is the people who see this content, engage with this content, and then want to hire us to help them build their brands too. And that same thing is true for probably the majority of you that are out there who already have businesses and are looking to leverage content in a way that'll help you establish your expertise and continue to build that trust and loyalty with your audience, the people who are ultimately either hired you or want to hire you to work on their business. So how do we combine all of these things together? Combining experience and expertise for success is really where that magic happens. When your experience to connect with your audience and on an emotional level, and then your expertise, which will provide them with the solutions that they need, is the recipe for taking your business to the next level. You start by using your mass media credentials if you have them, or by sharing your story to let your audience know and let them in on who you are, what you've been through, and why are you so passionate about what you do. Then, by backing it up with your content, your social media posts, your website, and the expertise to show them that you are not someone with just a story, but someone who can really guide them to success. Donald Miller has got an amazing book talking about this. I got on my shelf. Building a Story Brand is the title of that, if you want to check it out. I highly recommend it. I think it's great. But he uses Joseph Campbell's Hero's Journey framework to talk about how, as business owners, you can use story to market your business and to grow your business. And one of the things that he talks about, and I think is really one of the most pertinent points I feel in the book, and one of my biggest takeaways, is that entrepreneurs and business owners are not the hero to their prospect's story. They are the guide. The prospect is the hero of their own story. You're just coming in there like Yoda to show them the path and what they need to do in order to get to the life that they've always wanted. And so when you combine your experience and your expertise, you become the Yoda to your audience, if you will. And combining those things together, you create now a personal brand that is both relatable and credible. It's authentic and authenticated. Your audience will see you as somebody who understands them and can help them achieve their goal. So let's walk away at the end of this. And I've put this in a lot of other videos, and I'll say it again. But as we wrap up here, what are some takeaways that you can go do right now, right? What are some actionable steps? First, reflect on your story, right? Take some time to think about the key experiences that have not only shaped who you are, but shaped the decision to do what you do and why you do that. What are the lessons that you learned? What's the emotions that you felt? And how does that connect to the emotions that your prospects are feeling before they find somebody to help them with the current problem that they have? Then identify your expertise, right? What is it that you're really good at? What are your unique skills and that you bring to the table, right? So not even necessarily the products that you offer or the services that you offer, but what is it about how you offer those services that really sets you apart? What's the knowledge and experience in your expertise that you can also bring to that table? And then how do you showcase that? Are you doing content, right? Continue to create content, even if it's just blog posts or articles, right, which are a little bit older in their application, but videos, podcasts, whatever medium works for you, do something. And start engaging with your audience on that level. Again, don't just put the content out there, but really engage with your audience. If they're responding to you on social media, comment back, ask questions, try to create a dialogue with those posts too. And that will help you build a stronger connection to those people who are following you and establish a deeper level of trust as well. And remember, again, your brand is a living and breathing thing because you are your brand. So as you grow and as you evolve, as you change, as you keep learning, as you keep sharing, keep pushing yourself to be the best version of yourself, and your brand will follow as you share that story, as you continue to share the story of who you are, what you're doing, and how you continue to help people. So, all right, that's it for today's episode of Elevate and Accelerate. Hopefully you found this, I was going to say discussion, but I guess it's really just been a monologue. Hopefully you found this monologue on experience and expertise value that gave you some insights on how you can start building a stronger, more magnetic personal brand. So if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, share it with a friend, leave a review, click the little thumb buttons, whatever it is. Would really appreciate that so we can help to reach more business owners and entrepreneurs that are like you. And again, thanks for tuning in. So until next time, keep elevating and accelerating. Cheers.